Hello, everybody. What's up? This is Joey. Okay, Joey on the beat. Welcome to Joey's Wrestling Hour on JBV Productions TV. We got a lot of topics to talk about today. Now, the last time we left off with the first episode, we were talking. I was just talking about um some like new matches and stuff like that and whatever. Um, right now we're gonna get straight to the chase on this one topic I wanted to talk about. Um, and that is AEW. Now, AEW at the moment, AEW is becoming like the hottest wrestling company at the moment. Not the biggest like wrestling company yet, but like it's just grew like a lot of popularity as of the moment. Um. Now AEW just had a performance, which is Fighter Fest. So at Fighter Fest recently, there was a little incident um regarding Cody Rhodes. Now basically after Cody Rhodes fought Darby Allin in a singles match. And apparently after the match, Cody Rhodes was struck in the head with a chair by Shawn Spears. Is Yeah, Shawn Spears. There we go. I'm just saying the correct one. And that whole incident. What do I have to say about that? Um, I understand it was completely gimmick, but if you're gonna make, I know that you guys were trying to make it look real compared to WWE's chair shots, but now like um I know that they were trying to make it look real, but at the same time, if you're gonna make it look real, please try not to fucking hurt anybody. I mean, I know that it was probably like not intended to happen. I get it. Like, listen, um, to all the wrestling smarks out there, shut the fuck up. It's just a show. It was an accident. It didn't mean to happen. And I'm gonna talk about the wrestling fan base at the moment, which I'll talk about later. I'm just gonna continue about AEW. Yeah, and then there was the that whole thing. Now, according to resources, Cody Rhodes had to get 12 surgical staples, but fortunately he didn't suffer a concussion. But within the wrestling industry at the moment, AEW received criticism. Basically, they were very concerned about Cody's health, especially the concerns of CTE and head trauma. And another thing, according to resources, by contrast, WWE, they legitimately banned chair shots to the head, and this was because of the whole Chris Benoit tragedy. After he killed his family and fucking he committed suicide, that's the reason why WWE banned chair shots to the head, basically. But right, then there was the John Moxley versus Joey Janela non-sanctioned match event, and I've seen clips of it online, and it looks like Moxley's having the time of his life right now as a wrestler, and that's because it's his post WWE life. Oh, which by the way, I'm gonna talk about Seth Rollins and the whole like Seth Rollins tweets and shit about him talking shit about the indies and stuff. But anyways, right? So moving on with the John Moxley match. The John Moxley match, like I said, and Moxley's having the time of his life at the moment. That's because he gets to do whatever he wants to do in AEW that he couldn't do in WWE. And I'm glad that John Moxley got some main event in AEW show. Cause John Moxley, he he has that type of, he's the type of wrestler that could sell out a pay-per-view. Kind of like how Batista and Triple H and The Rock and Austin, those guys, they were a little hardcore, but John Moxley, he's the type of hardcore wrestler that can sell out any pay-per-view, in my opinion. So yeah, basically, Joey Janela was a badass selling those thumbtacks like a real boss, basically. So Joey Janela had a set apparently to accept those shots with the fucking the thumbtacks and shit. Like you see, wrestlers like Joey Janela, they do have, the potential. They do have, the Joey Janela, he's good, basically, He like him and John Moxley, they put on one hell of a main event. Although I didn't watch it, I've seen clips of it. I've seen good clips of it too, like the one where Moxley puts Janela in the thumbtacks, which kind of reminds me, of course, is gonna remind wrestling fans a lot of Mick Foley and how he put Randy Orton and Edge through the fucking thumbtacks and shit. So I thought Moxley was going a little bit Mick Foley. He was going like Mick Foley on Joey Janela's ass for one second. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the whole Cody Rhodes incident, I don't think it was intended to happen. And although it didn't sell out, it's alright. At least they had a lot of people going to that show. Not a lot of people to fill that arena that night, but still, they still provided the best entertainment, and at least they got a lot of money and a lot of attendance that night. So everyone, y'all need to fucking relax about the fact that AEW didn't sell out compared to WWE's seats and shit. Yes, I get it. I get it that you wanna criticize about some kind of wrestling. I get it. I get it that you want to go on the internet and be like, oh, AEW didn't sell out. WWE can sell out. No. I'm not saying WWE doesn't get any attendance. They do get attendance. It's just that they just act like they get attendance most of the time when they have empty seats. I was at WrestleMania, and they were sold out. It was 82,000 fucking people. What you expect? Not the thing to sell out? What do you expect them to do? Computer animate the crowd? But yeah. So the AEW Fyter Fest thing, it was good. And listen, it wasn't a big pay-per-view or anything. It was just a small show for now, because they got a pay-per-view coming up called Fight for the Fallen. I think it's a pay-per-view. Fight for the Fallen. I know All Out is gonna be a pay-per-view because that shit sold out in like within 15 minutes or so, or like 5 minutes. And I couldn't believe it at first. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, WWE, if they weren't stale at the moment, they could have sold out shows. But again, WWE, they wanna go the hard way instead of the easy way, and that's the reason why they're suffering a lot in terms of ratings and money. now I wanted to speak. Now I got AEW out of the way. This is one match. There was, I mean, like, this is one pay per view in general that has received a lot of criticism for. This match is Let me see. Hold up a second. Okay, I got it out of my head. It's the Roman Reigns and the Undertaker match against Shane and Drew McIntyre at WWE Extreme Rules in Pennsylvania this year. Now, there was particular criticism about that match because a lot of people just went online and were like, "Oh, why'd you put the Undertaker in this match?" Like, you're just doing this in spite of ratings going so downhill. Like, what the hell is that shit? But actually, I don't think it was for the ratings. I think it was just because this has been like a long time in the making. You know, this match has been, kind of like a long time in the making, I'll say. I don't know. I was watching a video apparently, and they said that there's been the works for like a while. But yeah, that match, a lot of people just get online and be like, "What the fuck is this? You're just doing this in spite of ratings and shit." No. And that's what I can't stand about the wrestling fan base. All I gotta say before I go into that, all I gotta say about the Roman Reigns and the Undertaker match, it's cool. It's really cool. I'm looking forward to see that match. The end. Now, move on. Moving on to the fan base of wrestling. The fan base of wrestling at the moment, it's not what you think really. And what I mean by that is that you think that they're all being cool and shit. No. This is if you're new to wrestling. Like if you're really, really new. Like I'm only a year into wrestling, really. And I've known so much, along these past months. Especially the fact that a lot of fans online, all they want to do is complain and complain and complain. That's what these wrestling fans do. The sad reality is that the fans are the reason why WWE is ruined, really. I mean, look at it. I mean, we had a wrestler who was a popular babyface at the time, but in the eyes of hardcore wrestling fans, this wrestler just seemed like a baby character. And no, I'm not talking about John Cena or Batista. Nah, definitely not Batista. Because I already know Batista wasn't a baby compared to the person I'm talking about. That always was chanting, "Yes, yes, yes." You already know who I'm talking about. Like, face the facts. Yeah, of today, the fans are just they don't appreciate really like anything, especially the fact that sorry, I had a I had a long drink of iced tea. But yeah, like so, today's fans, they a lot of fans of today, they want to look at the wrong information of wrestling, really. Then there's one wrestling journalist who I despise so much, kind of. Well, like, I kind of despise him for the fact that... Actually, you know what? I really despise him, to be honest. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm kind of despised. This one wrestling journalist that I despise the most is Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer News. A lot of wrestling fans today, I look at Dave Meltzer as a joke, first of all. You know, the shit that Dave Meltzer says a lot of the times, Dave Meltzer, he. And so, like, some of the shit that Meltzer says a lot. I what I got evidence from is from Bearing Smarks. It's an Instagram page. Shout out to Bearing Smarks. Um, I'm just looking at Bearing Smarks' Instagram page, and I just see like a bunch of like it's just a bunch of shit that Dave Meltzer says. You know, and we can all agree, you know, on the fact that he's a poor excuse for a wrestling journalist. You know, like I'm just reading the tweets. Right now you're not really hearing me talking, and that's because I'm just reading the shit Meltzer says online on Twitter. You know, in basically Dave Dave Meltzer's a fucking moron most of the times. And what made me hate him the most was the fact that he criticized Roman Reigns' cancer. Like, first of, it's not that because I'm Roman's ass kisser or anything like that, but no, but it's just that he, listen, Roman just got back from fighting such a deadly disease, and you want to go online and you want to fucking say that his cancer's fake. Like, this is the reason why that Nia Jax cursed you out, basically. She literally made a tweet responding to you. That's what I just dislike about Dave Meltzer is that he just comes up like I'm looking it up on my phone right now. Um, like and basically, you know, I just don't like the shit that he says a lot of the times. You know, this is the reason why I don't even like you as a wrestling journalist. And this is what Nia Jax said in that tweet. And I told my grandmother who Nia Jax is. Basically, my grandmother, she doesn't really watch wrestling anymore. She used to, but I was having a conversation with my grandmother about this, about Roman's cancer and stuff. And basically, what Nia Jax said in that tweet is what, you know, I've explained to my grandmother. And if you guys want me to read the tweet, I'll read the tweet. Nia Jax wrote on Twitter that Dave is a piece, like on I think it's Twitter, yeah, Twitter. Dave Meltzer's a piece of shit. The fact that you make statements about people's health when you have zero knowledge about it is ridiculous. If you do have access to superstars' personal medical info, that is a huge violation of HIPAA, and I'm sure that's not the case. So shut your mouth. Although that I, although I'm not a huge Nia Jax fan, I'm actually happy that she fucking came at Dave Meltzer for the fact that why would you want to talk about somebody's health? You have zero knowledge on his health. Like you're being fucking ridiculous, Dave. Like let's let's look alive here. We're in the world like the real world right now. Roman's cancer ain't fake. So to the people that say, "Oh, Roman faked his cancer just to get over with the fans," you're an ignorant piece of shit. That's what you are. You're the kind of smart that is just an ignorant asshole who wants to criticize about people's health. How about you get cancer and see if it's fake? You know, like, yeah, and even this one guy, Ryan Satan, shout out Ryan Satan. Ryan Satan said this: speculating about storylines, upcoming matches, and locker room heat is one thing, but Meltzer saying Roman isn't telling the truth about his cancer treatment is not okay. Many take his word as gospel, and to speculate on such a matter is irresponsible. And I agree with Mr. Satan on that part. Mr. Ryan Satan on that part. It's not okay to be saying that he's not telling the truth because of his cancer. How about, to Dave Meltzer, if he's watching this, Dave, you asshole, how about you get cancer and see if it's fake? Right? You think that Roman's cancer is fake? How about you get cancer and see if it's fake? Let's. And no, I'm not a fanboy. I'm not kissing his ass or anything. No, this is just from a wrestling fan who observes all kind of wrestling and wants to watch wrestling the best he could. But I just don't like wrestling journalists that be on there and be criticizing people's health. And like I said, I'm not a huge Nia Jax fan, but I'm happy that she came out and, responded to him. I would have responded to him in the same way too if he criticized my cousin or my brother or my sister's, health in wrestling in such a way. If somebody like that was to ever say that about my family, I would have responded the same way. And right there, Nia Jax, she kind of buried Meltzer for that fact. Because let's face it, Dave Meltzer didn't know anything about Roman's cancer really. All he knew was that Roman was coming out and was doing a promo about his cancer, and that was it. I know a little more to that besides Roman's promo and all that. He had to literally take a 4-month absence from the company due to battling leukemia. He had leukemia for 11 years. He was in and out. He's been in and out of the hospital during that time period, and because of the treatments and shit. Even Seth Rollins, his former Shield brother, Seth Rollins came out and said that, oh, Roman's doing good. He's gonna spend Christmas with his family. Of course, why not? So yeah, so he basically spent Christmas with his family and shit, and yeah. And after Roman was starting to recover more and more, he got into the movie Hobbs and Shaw with The Rock. And like I said, and there was people criticizing about that too, because people were going on the internet and they were like, "You're faking your cancer. I seen you in promoting a movie with The Rock." Like I said, whoever criticized Roman's cancer as fake, you're an ignorant asshole. That's just it. That's all there is to it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dave Meltzer was on the internet right now talking about me. Because let's be honest here. If Dave Meltzer was to say anything about me, I will fire right back at him. And no, I ain't speaking like a 10-year-old. Nah. I'm more mature than speaking like a 10-year-old. This is coming from a 16-year-old wrestling fan. Who enjoys all... I'll watch any kind of wrestling. I'll watch the old school wrestling. I'll watch new school wrestling. Hell, I even know some of the wrestlers' birthdays, the date of death, and stuff like that. I've known so much. And David Meltzer knows zero. David Meltzer, he'll just come out and just say some random ass, some funny type shit on the internet. This is the reason why Nia Jax came back at you. That's because you always on some funny shit. If you didn't say anything about Roman's cancer, if you would shut the fuck up, it would make a difference. in that tweet that and Mr. Ryan Satan, again, shout out to Mr. Ryan Satan. He actually recorded the audio of Meltzer talking shit about Roman Reigns. So, hold up a second. Okay, here we go, shall we? Let me see if it plays. Hold up a second. Hold up a second, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just trying to, like... Let's see if this plays.
It's not like I mentioned. There was an NHL player who had the same thing he had in the 2007 season who did not miss one game. He played every game while on this. And hockey is a pretty damn demanding sport. So everyone's different, you know, and he didn't take, he actually said the pill was oral chemotherapy, but it really, I don't think it was. You know, because the pill that I was talking about is a new pill, and that's what he said. He didn't give the name of it, like I said, but, you know, like this is usually, they usually don't use, you know, the treatment of this is usually not chemotherapy or radiation. It is.
I don't know if you guys could hear that, but let me see. Hold up. So yeah, so basically, he just went on to talk a lot of shit about Roman Reigns. And you know, even Forbes was, you know, they even made an article about it, really. And look what I just found out right now, that Peyton Royce of the Iconics. You know, Dave Meltzer was talking mad shit about Peyton Royce apparently, and now he received some similar some similar criticism too. You know what he was crying like a little bitch. Like, doesn't that make my day entertaining? Doesn't that make my day really entertaining to find out that Dave Meltzer apparently crying like a little girl online because of what? Let me see if I can pull up the audio. But yeah, but basically, Dave Meltzer was talking a lot of shit about Roman Reigns. In saying that, oh, this pill and that pill. Let me see if I can play the audio better on this one. I apologize for the bad audio quality on the first one. It was on my phone.
It is serious, you know, I mean, but it's not like, you know, like I mentioned, there was a NHL player who had the same thing he had in the 2007 season who did not miss one game. He played every game while on this. And hockey is a pretty damn demanding sport. So everyone's different, you know, and he actually said the pill was oral chemotherapy, but it really, I don't think it was. You know, because the pill that I was talking about, which is a new pill, and that's what he said, he didn't give the name of it, like I said, but, you know, like they usually don't use, you know, the treatment of this is usually not chemotherapy or radiation.
So, if you guys heard that, he's talking about like a pill, basically. Like, he's basically... You know, even Mr. Ryan Satan on this part, you know, he just said that this is not alright to be talking about somebody who is going through such a life threatening, situation like leukemia. And I'm just reading the comments right now on WrestlingInc.com, and just basically a lot of people, they're just going at it with Meltzer. They were like, this one person was like, oh, Meltzer had no right to make comments like that. He's not a doctor and knows nothing about the treatment. And Nia Jax was certainly right to call him out on that part. And I agree. Nia Jax, she called him out on the right time, basically. Even this one person said, Jason Blake announced he had CML on October 7, 2007 and played the game on October 9th. A real physical sport, not fake wrestling, which I don't really care about that opinion, really. We already know wrestling is fake. But anyways, yeah, he played in every single game that year for Toronto, but Roman Reigns had to take a few months off. Conveniently, at the same time, The Rock needed his help filming the movie. WWE had to portray grown men in tears to hype up the crowd emotions. They even had to make a t-shirt to pop it off of. Bottom line, the whole situation was exaggerated. Don't tell me the WWE will never do something like that. You guys are way too easy. Meltzer just let the cat out of the bag. I don't really know what to say about that comment, really. But let's move on. There's just a lot of criticism online. There's even this one person saying that Dave Meltzer called Peyton Royce fat. That right there, oh my god. Oh my god, man. Dave Meltzer, he just talks a bunch of shit all the time. I've said this for the millionth time. All he does is go on the fucking internet and talks nothing but shit. And right here, what this is what he said on Wrestling Observer Radio on August 9th. This is what he said. From Meltzer, I thought the Iconics had a cool act in NXT and on the main roster. I don't get a thing out of them. I don't think their promos are particularly good. Their wrestling isn't good. I think they're even like... I think Pete and Roy's transformation to look more attractive. I don't know what to say, but I don't think that they were way... Then Alvarez said that they were way more attractive in NXT. Meltzer, I thought so, yes. To me, I would say so. But that's neither here nor there. Alvarez said, no one's saying she's unattractive, by the way, everybody. Yeah, I know. What's it? Like, no shit. Yeah, I didn't say it at all. But she doesn't stand out to me. When she was in NXT, she did. She was a lot lighter. Is this guy an asshole? Like, is this guy really an asshole? Let me tell you something. If Dave Meltzer was in WWE, Dave Meltzer literally would have had his ass fired due to the heat that he's getting. It's Even this one person by Wrestle Talk Online is saying that nowadays it's not about women's attraction in WWE anymore. It's about their in-ring ability, what they can do in the ring. Apparently, Dave Meltzer on that episode of Wrestling Observer Radio, he just forgets that fact. And basically, I consider that body shaming. Even Billy Kay, even Seth Rollins commented on it. Look, even Seth Rollins commented on it, Billy Kay, of course, she's going to come back. This is what Billy Kay said. Actually, you know what? Let's read Peyton Royce's tweet first. So basically, this one guy named Danny, right? He goes like, "Is this normal stuff for a journalist to be talking about ever? She was more attractive in NXT. She was a lot lighter." Like I get how that person Danny is feeling. Hold up a second. Oh my God, the toys fell. Well, yeah, basically, he was just talking a lot of shit on the internet, right? To the point that everybody had to just go out and just come back at him. This is the reason why Dave Meltzer, I bet you he got so much beef with every WWE superstar. It's unbelievable how much the shit he says to the point that everybody has beef with him. Dave Meltzer, what I consider Dave Meltzer to be, I consider Dave Meltzer to be the Tekashi 6ix9ine of professional wrestling. Because when you look at 6ix9ine had a lot of beef with everybody for being stupid. And now Dave Meltzer, who is like that rapper 6ix9ine, he has a lot of beef with everybody. Because you know why? Because all he does is go on the internet all day and be on some funny shit. Like, basically, and Peyton Royce said this in her tweet. So what would you have me do, Dave? Starve myself? This is how nightmares for young women start. The females in your life must be proud. And I feel bad for Peyton Royce because she don't deserve that kind of criticism. She's a very beautiful woman, and you shouldn't never, ever talk about women like that in any way whatsoever. And Billy Kay, she said this in her tweet. This is unacceptable on so many levels. How dare you say that someone is more attractive when they are lighter? You have no idea how stupid comments like this can affect someone for life. Peyton Royce is perfect, just the way she is. A strong and beautiful woman. And I agree on that part because, first of all, I bet you he don't be criticizing his aunt and his sisters like that. But you want to go on the internet and you want to bash a woman like that? Body shaming them? Like, who the hell is you to be commenting on women in any way whatsoever? I wouldn't be surprised if Dave Meltzer said, "Oh, I make more money than this kid Joey doing the wrestling interview right now, or the wrestling podcast." First of all, I kind of have like more knowledge than Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer just comes out and just talks shit. And Seth Rollins said this on the tweet too. I think it's -6 something that he said. -6 stars, Dave. That's what Seth Rollins said. You know what? Seth is right. Dave Meltzer said this. He said this in his tweet apologizing. I'd like to apologize to you. You're an exceedingly attractive woman. I do realize the lengths and pressures on women in the entertainment world to maintain unnatural looks at times, and I'm glad and am glad you pointed this out. So you're glad that she called you out. So you glad that she fucking called you out. Let me tell you something. Dave Meltzer, he's the kind of person that if he works in WWE, everybody would have heat with him backstage. Let's be honest here. How dare you will go online and talk about a woman like that in any way? I know this happened a year ago, but still. Like, I don't understand why the fuck is Dave Meltzer on the show. Who the fuck is you to criticize about any woman like that? You don't complain about your fucking aunts and your sisters and your mother like that. But you want to go online and you want to bash a woman for body shaming her? Why? All because she was a lot lighter in NXT? Dave, you're the lighter one in this situation. You're the real girl in the situation. Listen, Dave, you're just a little fucking bitch. Dave Meltzer's the biggest bitch in the world for ever criticizing about a woman like that. Let me tell you something. First of all, before you criticize about any woman like that, how about you go body shame your fucking mother and your sisters and your aunt or something? And now I want to talk about the Seth Rollins and the whole Twitter shit. And bottom line, Dave Meltzer, you're a fucking piece of shit. I don't want to talk about you no more. So let's move on to Seth Rollins and as I say his name correctly, basically Seth Rollins has gotten into into a war of tweets on Instagram apparently with Will Ospreay or something like that. If that's how you say his name, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So Mr. Will apparently Will apparently he's been going at it with Seth online because of the whole I think it was because of the things that Seth commented on, like Seth Rollins' response to Jon Moxley, who used to be WWE's Dean Ambrose, like how Jon Moxley will talk about the company basically. So Seth was like, that's a little crazy to be talking about such, a company who has given you, a lot of opportunities. And a lot of people will criticize Seth Rollins as being the next corporate bitch after John Cena, but I don't really think it's that, really. Listen, everybody's entitled to their opinion, kind of. Except the opinion of body shaming a woman. First of all, if my parents would have heard me ever saying shit like that, they would have smacked the shit out of me. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, first of all, I wouldn't. And Dave Meltzer, he don't have the balls to actually say it to Peyton's face, really. Dave Meltzer's just the kind of guy that wants to talk shit on the internet and uses the internet to protect him. Yeah, and this was after Meltzer watched the Roman Reigns Chronicle. But back onto the Seth Rollins thing. basic, yeah, the shit that everybody, the two of them had said back to each other. It was a little crazy. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Now we have basically two wrestlers are going at it because of the fact that like who's the better wrestling brand really? I mean, this was after Seth Rollins commented about Jon Moxley's WWE departure for AEW. Seth went on to criticize Moxley's comments and went on to say that that's a little crazy of him to go out and bash a company that gave him a lot of opportunities. Yeah, but Seth, you to Seth Rollins, if he's watching this, yeah, but you gotta understand, listen, I understand that he's your brother and all, I understand that, but he wasn't bashing the company for the opportunities and stuff. He even said it in his interview that he's grateful that, WWE gave him the opportunities, but it's just that he just didn't like, as of his second run, like he didn't like how the way he was, treated, like creatively. They made him into a bad heel. And no, listen, he's not really ungrateful. Judging by what he said about he's thanking WWE for all the opportunities, it sounds like he's not really ungrateful. It's just that he just didn't like the way he was being treated as a heel when he should have been treated better as a heel. Roman Reigns commented on Jon Moxley, and apparently this is what Roman Reigns had to say about Jon Moxley. I don't think our working relationship is going to be what it used to be, but I'll always have love for that guy. He's always my close friend, and I wish the best for him. We have a brotherhood, so I'm always cheering for him. I've shared so many great moments with Ambrose, or Mox, as we should say. We have love for each other well beyond the wrestling, and it will always be that way. And listen, Roman Reigns is, judging by that, I bet you he's the nicest guy that you can meet. Roman Reigns, he's speaking from his heart. And and it's looking at what Dave Meltzer said about Roman Reigns, it sounds like he's kind of like picking on him, really. I mean, let's look at it. Roman Reigns is the sweet guy who everybody loves backstage and everyone wants to say hi to him and shit like that. But and it makes Dave Meltzer look like the school bully in this whole situation. And I don't, in the Seth Rollins and the Will Ospreay shit. A lot of shit like that, like, come on. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm just like, yeah, like, first of all, who the fuck are you to comment on such a thing like that? Seth said that John took his ball and went home. Like, I'm just looking at it right now, and I'm just like, what the hell is everything come down to right now? You know, and it's sad to even think about what Meltzer said about Roman Reigns and shit like that. Um, yeah. So the whole Seth Rollins tweets and shit, like, you know what, Seth, I love, Seth, I love you, brother, but it's just that sometimes you need to ignore what people say, really. And Seth, why you gotta reply at WWE fans? You know what? When I look at wrestling fans, I don't really like to respond. I just watch the comments and see how worse it'll get, really. But yeah, basically, yeah. It's not right for somebody to be criticizing about a person who was going through such a life-threatening, situation at the moment, and to see, to even think about it, it's just really upsetting, and it's like, what? It's like, who the fuck are you to be commenting on anybody's health? Who the fuck are you to be commenting on somebody's body? You you literally you are literally disrespecting a woman right here. In the shit, basically shit like that. It makes me upset. It makes me upset to hear about, you know, shit like that, really. It's just no wonder. I'm sorry about that. I just had to delete something on the computer. Yeah, shit like that. It just gets you pissed off. It's like, what the fuck? So yeah, this whole wrestling podcast, I've been talking about nothing but shit, kind of. Let's talk about let's see, let's see. Oh yeah, let's talk about the Alexa Bliss and Bailey promo. Now, I think I've talked about this in my episode before, but if anybody hasn't heard it, I'll give you what's up. Yeah. So basically, I'm gonna talk about it for just a short. All I'm gonna say is that Alexa, she cut a promo on Bailey on SmackDown 5 days before Stomping Grounds. And basically, the whole promo featured, Alexa Bliss she was kind of shooting on Bailey, to be honest. Like, she was kind of like doing like a shoot promo on her in front of the whole crowd. She was like, "Oh, you peaked in NXT, shit like that, this and this and that." And the fact that you come out with your Bailey buddies dressed like you work at Forever 21, which was kind of funny. There was like a couple of funny things in that promo, especially the one where Alexa says, "Oh, I'm gonna wait until I get an autograph by John Cena." That was kind of funny too. But yeah, she was basically shooting the whole time throughout that promo, and I'm just like, I'm kind of upset that Alexa Bliss doesn't really get that much creative freedom. Alexa Bliss should be given more creative freedom. She shouldn't be reading scripted promos. That's the reason why some of her promos are not really that good. Just because it's all scripted. When Alexa did that promo on Bailey, it showed that she don't need a script to make a promo. She speaks, straight from the heart. She speaks her honest opinion, really, in in a way that makes it look makes it look a little real. Especially the comments that she made on Bayley in that promo. It made basically Bayley's been getting booed, and that is because she's been booked horribly, which although it isn't Bayley's fault, I just don't like Bayley's character, really. I just don't like it that the fact that she's gotta come out like dressing in fucking pants that looks like pajamas, and come out with the fucking inflatable her little Bayley buddies, the inflatable fucking balloons that pops up every time she does her entrance, like. She's been getting the Roman Reigns treatment. She's getting booed because of the way she's booked. And basically, I'm not really a huge Bayley fan, but I was kind of happy that she won at Money in the Bank. At the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. It shows that Bayley, she's good. It's just that WWE, they just made her weak. I'm guaranteeing you that Bayley has a lot more potential than that. And no, I'm not hating on Bayley or anything. I actually kind of like Bayley. I'm not a really big fan of her. I kind of like her. I just don't really like her character. It's just her character that makes her look like a weakling, really. But if WWE back in the day, first of all, back in the day, if Bayley would have came out like that, she would have gotten booed out of every single building. Everybody would have hated her in the Attitude Era back in the day if she came out dressing like that. But this is not the Attitude Era. This is the reality. I'm just saying. But yeah, but basically, Bayley, she has skill. It's just that WWE, they don't want to book her properly. They don't want to turn Bayley heel, and that's because of the fact that she's over as a babyface. Like, that's how Vince thinks most of the time. Like, grow the fuck up, Vince. I want to shoot on Vince later in another podcast, because I only got like 18 minutes left worth of this podcast. But yeah, basically that whole promo, she was Alexa Bliss. She's a great heel. It's just that she just needs more creative freedom. If Alexa's been given more creative freedom, she could have been the best heel. Kind of like Elias. You know how Elias got booed in Seattle that night because of what he said about the fucking basketball team? That it shows that how much Elias had had potential as a heel, and that could be the same for Alexa Bliss. Just give her more creative freedom. Don't give her a fucking promo that comes straight out of the script. Let her speak from the heart. That's how you guys, do it with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, he gets unscripted promos, like he gets to cut his own promos. With Alexa Bliss, you guys should be able to do that. It's ridiculous how come a female WWE superstar like that has a lot of potential but is always reading out of a script. Most of the time, she be reading out of a script, but sometimes, like even with the Bayley promo, it showed that I don't think that was really scripted. It kind of looked real, to be honest. That's just like a whole that would look like a whole shoot promo right there, saying that the one undeserving person that you find deserving, something like that, is the one person who is actually living out on the career that you're having at the moment. And basically, she's referring to Sasha Banks. And right now, Sasha Banks is like in a little state of like troubles with WWE over the creative shit. And basically because of Sasha Banks, the booking of her at WrestleMania, I wouldn't be, I would actually be kind of surprised if this was a whole storyline, because if it was, then Sasha Banks did a really good job at making it look real. So Sasha Banks, I hope that she comes back during SummerSlam. When I first heard of the whole Sasha Banks shit, I thought that, oh, Sasha Banks is a quitter. That's what I thought. I thought that I don't have respect for Sasha no more because of what she did. But now I'm kind of changing my mind because I don't know if this is a storyline. It could be a storyline, to be honest. And if it is, then I wouldn't be surprised. Really. Nah, just kidding. I'll be surprised. I'm just kidding around. I'll be surprised because you know why? Because Sasha Banks, she made it look real. You know, coming back at the fans online and being like, oh, who quit? You know, in WWE, if that was actually a storyline, WWE actually did a good job with that storyline. Let's see if it is a storyline, to be honest. I'm hoping that Sasha comes back. But then again, I don't know if it's really a storyline. So we're just gonna have to wait it out and see what happens with Sasha. But yeah, you know, the Alexa and Bailey promo, just shooting on her the whole damn promo. I'm just like, damn. Like, is this what you made Alexa Bliss become? Like, this is fucking ridiculous that you have a star with so much potential, with so much good heart, and good skill, but to the fact that you make her read out of a fucking script every single show that she has to be, like, has to be on because of the schedule, and you make her read out of a fucking script. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that Alexa Bliss, like, had one good promo, and the fact, and that one was the Bailey promo. I'm not saying that her promos suck, but it's just that she just needs more creative freedom. Because every time she's in the segment, kinda, it's kind of like she's reading out of a script. Like, this is not how you should make a person like that be, especially Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has been getting criticism like that too because of the scripted promos and shit. Everybody's be saying that Roman Reigns, he has charisma. It's just that WWE, they don't want him to show the charisma. They want him to be like this all PG, bitch ass wrestler that be like, oh, this is my yard, this is my. Nah, that yard belongs to the Undertaker, first of all. That yard belongs to the Undertaker. Let's get that out of the way. WWE has and will always be the Undertaker's yard. Nobody else's but the Undertaker's, and that's a true fact. You know, and with Alexa Bliss, I've watched her WWE 365 Chronicle, and you know, she seems like a genuinely sweet person. It's just that WWE, they just don't want her to really be like that. They want her to fucking read out of a script. I don't know if she reads out of a script. I could be wrong. It just kind of looks like it, but then again, she's a great heel. It's just that, please give her the creative freedom that she wants. Like Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, he comes out unscripted. Even when Sami Zayn mentioned AEW on WWE TV, and I was kind of shocked to hear about such a thing. But you know what? It showed that Sami Zayn, like, he really is that type of star to qualify for free creative freedom. Like, Sami Zayn should be given all the creative freedom he has. Not the matches and shit, no, because Sami Zayn is a Canadian wrestler who was making a name for himself, who had made a name for himself in NXT. And he still is another fan favorite by the crowd. In Montreal, which was in 2015, Bret Hart came out with John Cena, basically in that segment of Monday Night Raw, he said to John Cena, "Your next opponent is from Montreal, Canada," and that was live in Canada. And the crowd was going so fucking crazy for Sami Zayn. It was unbelievable. You know, it shows that Sami Zayn does have potential. Just don't make him into a weakling. That goes for Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Seth Rollins looks like he just reads shit out of a script. I'm not hating on Seth. I love Seth. Seth Rollins, he's my boy. Like, he's my favorite. But Seth, sometimes Seth looks like he's just reading shit out of a script. If you're gonna make a wrestler as popular as Seth, who is a fan favorite with the crowd, don't make him come out with the scripted promo every night. Make him, you should have made it. You should have gave him creative freedom the night after the Royal Rumble. Like, that's what you should have done. You should have made Seth Rollins come out every single night and cut such great promos that everybody will get really interested in this match. I'm not saying that everybody wasn't interested in the Brock Lesnar and the Seth Rollins match. It's just that to make it more interesting, he could have come out every single night and cut such great damn promos. Because Seth Rollins, he does have potential. That goes for Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose has the same potential as Seth to win the championships and cut great promos. In WWE, Moxley wasn't really treated right. That was because of his heel character. Hell, even the night that he turned heel on Seth Rollins, which was the same night Roman Reigns had to relinquish the Universal Championship due to battling his cancer, leukemia, it looked like Dean didn't even want to turn heel. And that just made it look like WWE, they dropped the ball so damn much. And it's kind of sad. You know? I've got like 9 minutes left. Kind of. Maybe like 9 something or 20 minutes left. With this whole fucking podcast. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really think it. Time's about to be up soon, so let me talk about one more thing. Let me see. You know what? In my next podcast, I'm gonna talk about WrestleMania. I'm gonna talk about Stomping Grounds, and I'm gonna talk about Extreme Rules. But there's one more topic I need to cover about. And that is Jon Moxley. I want to talk about Jon Moxley for a little bit. I know I mentioned Moxley today, but I want to talk about like more facts on Moxley. So basically, Jon Moxley at the moment, this year has been like kind of like a roller coaster for Jon Moxley. That was because of, you know, of his WWE return and departure and his, you know, his appearance in AEW. But yeah, so basically, like I said, you know, on the same night, Roman Reigns had to relinquish the Universal Championship due to battling leukemia. Dean Ambrose turned heel on Seth Rollins. And I kind of knew that it was going to happen because I was just seeing clips of it on Instagram. Basically, Ambrose was teasing like a potential split between the Shield. So now, Dean's heel character, is not really the best heel character we've gotten in such a long time, in my opinion. Actually, you know what? And say it in really better words. Ambrose's character, his heel character, was a very childish heel character. You know, they made this one segment where Ambrose got vaccinated on his ass. Like, they made him get ass shots. Recording on live TV. Like, are you serious? Is this what you've done to him? That's a little fucked up. And it's fucked up that you did it on the same night that somebody had to relinquish the championship due to leukemia. Like, WWE, they really dropped the ball with the whole Ambrose thing. Because if Ambrose, you guys could have made Dean Ambrose come back a heel. Then he would have had, let's say, up until the Roman Reigns cancer situation, you could have made, you could have made Ambrose a face after. Why couldn't you just make Ambrose a heel when he returned, not as a face? I understand that he got a pretty good crowd reaction. But why would you gotta turn him face on the Raw before SummerSlam? That's just ridiculous. You should have made Ambrose come back a heel. Then, on the same night, if you guys really had the knowledge to do so, you could have made Ambrose turn face on the same night. Roman Reigns would leave for leukemia. You could have done that. But then again, announcements like that, they are unexpected. So, you guys could have made Ambrose heel up until Roman had to leave due to leukemia. That's what you guys could have done as like a smart booking decision. And if you were gonna turn Ambrose face, make him into a strong face. Not into a face where he's fucking weak as shit and all. Like, come on. Is this how you guys operate today's WWE? And his heel character, it just made him weak. This is the reason why he left. It's because of the creative shit going on. Especially after the Nia Jax segment, Dean was like, I'm leaving. Like, that's fucking it. I'm leaving. I ain't re-signing with you. I don't care how much money you give me. No. It's not about the money. It's about how I should be used creatively. If you're going to have me performing as a wrestler for your company, then you should book properly. But yeah, basically they made him come out every single night and say horrible shit about Roman Reigns, and that's, come on. Who the hell wants to talk shit badly like about someone who is facing a life-threatening disease? Like, who the hell would ever go out and say some shit like that, especially on live TV? Especially in front of a live crowd audience. Like, that's not how you guys should make storylines. Especially with the Paige and the Charlotte Flair storyline. You guys had to deliberately put Charlotte's brother in the fucking storyline. And that's fucked up. And no, it's not really that Paige has beef with Charlotte. No, they're actually good friends still. But WWE, they never acknowledged to Ric Flair or Charlotte or any of their family to let them know that their brother was being used in this promo, all because to hype up the performance. That is the same thing with the Dean and the Seth storyline, is that they had to put Roman Reigns, who was fighting a deadly cancer, leukemia. You had to single-handedly put him in the storyline. Oh, this is gonna make the storyline look better. No, it's not. Such a damn shame. And for the past few months after Ambrose announced that he was not resigning his contract with them, they went on punishing him. You know how they punished him by? They punished him by fucking jobbing to wrestlers like Drew McIntyre and EC3 every night. And EC3, who was an NXT call up, he's been treated badly on the main roster, and it sucks. He was a big name he was kind of like a big name in CNA, and now in WWE he's just nothing but shit, holding a fucking cup. So when Roman came back, Dean got a little emotional, and of course he got emotional. That's his brother. It's awesome to hear that he's in remission. But you shamefully used Roman Reigns to reunite the Shield. Like, that right there is a no-no. Why would you use somebody just for a storyline like that to reunite the Shield? Are you serious? You fucking serious? You made Roman... First of all, Roman Reigns had to be absent, recovering cancer and all. Why? Just to come back and to fucking reunite the Shield immediately? Like, no. And besides, if you're gonna have Roman come back, why you couldn't turn Roman Reigns into a heel? That shit would have been awesome, a Roman Reigns heel turn. But WWE didn't want to do it. They think he's too over as a babyface. He's not. And Dean, he didn't really appear on any Raw after that, really, after the whole Shield shit. Especially Dean's last night with WWE, he got paid $500. That is so fucking ridiculous. You get paid. You literally give $500 to a guy who busted his ass and did everything for this company. You want to give him $500 on his last night with you? He deserved way more than $500. You could have gave him at least like $500,000. Again, WWE creative, they're smart. They're smart. Alright, so before I end this podcast, I want to send a shout out to Burying Smarks on Instagram. I want to send a shout out to Ryan Satan on Twitter. I apologize for using the recording that you made without any permission. I apologize for that. Shout out to WrestlingInc.com for the providable sources. And to thank you for all watching. This has been Joey's Wrestling Hour with the one and only Joey on the beat on J3 Productions TV. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment to get any update. And yeah. So thank you, and see you once again soon.